Hi, everyone. Welcome to our How Do They Do That live session here today. My name is Angela Gama, and I'm an instructional technology trainer, and I will be your MC here today for today's session. Today, we are celebrating our MCS Explorers for 7th and 8th grade and our Modesto Virtual Academy teacher that participated in this MCS EdTech Explorers program. So let's go ahead and get started here. We are going to have a couple more, we're going to have one more session here today on Thursday to celebrate the 9-12 grade teachers. We had one showcase for K6 yesterday. So in case you missed it, just be on the lookout for our recordings that we'll be sharing out so you can see what amazing work our K6 teachers did throughout the Tech Explorers program. And you are still in time to sign up for our 9-12 showcase on Thursday, May 12th, from 3:15 to 4:15. So through the PD catalog, you can go ahead and find those sessions there to register. And in case you were wondering, each one of these sessions counts for the 0.5 PD incentive. So you can attend all 3 of these and get 3 full hours of credit. So that's great news. Just to talk a little bit about what we've been doing throughout the year with our ISTE standards. ISTE is the International Society for Technology in Education, and they have a set of standards to support administrators, teachers, students to use the technology in education. So here are the student standards that we use in the MCS Explorers program, and we used one of these, each one of these themes to for each month. So you can see how we went ahead and learned about these ISTE standards throughout the year. We also went ahead and themed our e-newsletter Bits and Bytes with the ISTE standard for that month. So all the content that you saw in that newsletter for the month was purposely selected with that ISTE standard in mind. We also themed our professional development opportunities, our trainings that we offered in each month. We also considered what ISTE standard was for that month to design the lessons for that month. So that's the year at a glance with the ISTE standards. So what we had our teachers do throughout the year with the Tech Explorers program was to grab those existing lesson plans that they have and extend. They were able to enhance and engage their students by keeping in mind and designing their lessons these ISTE standards. So pretty great work we're gonna about to see in a minute here. And soon to come, a great tool for all of our teachers. If you're interested in learning what our teachers did throughout the program, we're going to compile all of the lesson plans designs. We're going to be reflection videos there in this site where you can search by ISTE standard. You can also search by grade level or subject area. So if you're curious to know how these teachers use the ISTE standards, you can go right in here and see for yourself some of the lesson ideas. Maybe you want to do something like this in your classroom, so you can go in and get inspired, spark that curiosity to incorporate or to use EdTech tools in your classroom as well. And also something to let you guys know, there is a Q&A At the top of your Teams live event app, there is a Q&A there that you can click and go ahead and add any questions or any comments, and I will go through them and try to answer them as much as I can, and put them out for the audience to read as well. And in case you are interested in participating in this MCS Explorers program for next school year, we have an interest survey for you to fill out. So here we have a bit.ly URL that you can go ahead and access. It's a bit.ly/join MCS Explorers, or you can grab your smartphone and open the app, the camera app, and read this QR code to open the survey on your phone and go through the questions and send us your interest response so we can consider you for the next year Explorers program. I'm going to throw in the link in a minute as an announcement. So in case you weren't able to catch it here in this slide, you'll be able to access that in our chat. All right, so what do we have going on here today as far as the showcase goes? Well, we got one teacher who's going to share how they use the Empowered Learner ISTE standard in their lesson. We got two teachers showcasing the Knowledge Constructor, and one teacher with the Innovative Designer and one with the Creative Communicator. So these are the ISTE standards that will be highlighted here today. All right, so unfortunately, the first teacher here, Sherry Chapman, or a librarian at La Loma and Henshaw Junior High, couldn't be here with us, but she made an amazing recording showing us how she used the Empowered Learner ISTE standard to enhance and extend a lesson. So let's go ahead and play her video here to learn what amazing work she did. All right.
Hi, I'm Sherry Chapman. I'm the 7-8 librarian for La Loma and Henshaw. And this particular lesson I'm very excited about. I did not do it this year. My plan is to implement it next year, hopefully as a year-long project. I am focusing on 1.1b, where students build networks and make their learning much more relevant to them. I want it to be much more student-centered, and they become the directors. I am just the facilitator. So I've worked on equity this year as my professional goal, and in the library itself, especially given the last year and a half, 2 years, with the kids being fairly disconnected, hasn't been as connected this year as I would like. So my goal here is to create a group, a voluntary group of students who want to be central to making decisions about how this library serves the school community. Equity is a huge piece of my job, and I want the collection to be equitable. I want the other things that we offer club-wise, technology-wise, to be much more equitable for students. And I want to offer them things that they are interested in. I want them to be engaged, but I also want them to be excited about coming to the library to do more than just check out books, and beyond just class visits. So I'm going to begin the year with asking students to join my group, and then we will meet periodically over the course of the year so that these kids are interacting with the stakeholders, the students on campus, teachers, parents, any other staff members who want to be involved, so that we are involving everyone as a stakeholder, and that they learn to use their technology tools to make good decisions It's not just about me anymore making the decisions for them. I want them to take control of making decisions. So I have a project where they will participate in the technology and choosing those tools in order to evaluate the kinds of books that we put into the library, the kinds of activities that we offer, and they will gather information, synthesize it, and then make recommendations to me for what direction the library should be going in. I think this will create a much more inclusive, equitable, diverse library for La Loma's campus, and I am also hoping to do this on Hanshaw's campus. Part of it will depend on, how many kids I can get to participate consistently, and that will probably be my biggest challenge. Other than that, I'm pretty excited about having all of these technology tools to use with the kids. I'm also hoping that maybe we can connect with some other libraries using some of the other technology options we have so that the kids can get ideas from people who live in other places, maybe other cities and maybe even other countries. So I really want to extend this to be something the kids are taking a much more active role in next year. As far as what EdTech Explorers has meant to me, this has been a great project for me to participate in. It has forced me to bring some things to reality and maybe even, putting them on paper for these ideas that I have that I've been working on for a while and that I really want to bring to life next year. And I think that I'll be able to put those in place. So I'm very excited about what I've come up with this year and how I can actually use it to support students and teachers school-wide and in both schools to maybe broaden the idea of what the library brings to the school. My goal, my vision is that the library is the center of both schools and that the kids know that if they want to do something, they can come to me and we can look at trying to make it happen. So EdTech Explorers, thank you for putting this project together, Matthew. And Alexandra, you've been a wonderful team leader. And I really am glad that I participated in this project this year.
Fantastic. What great way to have students be involved in their library and make them, have that global collaboration like Sherry was mentioning, to have them share ideas with others. So sometimes when they design lessons around a specific standard, they end up bringing more than one into their lesson design. So like Sherry was mentioning here, she wants them to collaborate with, students outside of their school. So that is really, really powerful. Thank you, Sherry, for creating this video. And if you have questions about the lesson or the project, I know some of our teachers, librarians are not here with us today, but I will make sure to get these questions to them, and I can share the responses in a follow-up email. So don't be shy to throw in any questions in our Q&A. Okay, so now we have Ashley Cepeda, Roosevelt Junior High Science teacher, and also she wasn't able to be with us, but we have, again, another recording. She focused on the ISTE standard knowledge constructor as well. So let's go ahead and watch her video.
Hello, my name is Ashley Cepeda. I am a middle school science teacher at Roosevelt Junior High School. I also teach Project Lead the Way. For this presentation, we are going to focus on Knowledge Constructor, which is essentially an ISTE standard that allows students to use creativity to construct any type of informational item, one-pagers, poster projects, PowerPoint presentations, any of those kinds of things. It gives them the option to kind of create those to show what they know. So for this particular example, we are going to create a stop motion animation within Google Drive, specifically Google Slides. So what we're going to do is start with a Google slide. We're going to open one up, make it nice and new. My computer's a little bit slow. I asked it to do lots of things. All right, first and foremost, as always, name your presentation. We're going to do Aquatic Biome Stop Motion. And this really is a skill just to get them to know stop motion. We could just add all of these things individually using the animation within Google Slides, but that's not really the goal of what we're trying to do here. I was trying to teach something new. So that's where we're going to start. So first of all, we are going to need some type of introduction. So we're going to type right here, biome, aquatic biome, sorry. And make it all pretty because why not? I like spicy rice currently. We're just going to make it large and in charge and then make this centered, and you understand from there what we're doing. All right, so that way it's just, there's an introduction. You can make it as fancy or as not fancy as you want. Let's go ahead and add a new slide. We are going to get rid of those text boxes because they are not needed, and we're going to go find a blank trophic pyramid. So I kind of already did that for the sake of time, because otherwise we'd be searching forever. It makes it a lot easier if you find a transparent image. One of the ways that you can do that is to go up when you are searching an image on Google. You go to Tools and you go to Color, and you can actually click transparent and it'll just show you the transparent images on Google. So that way, if you want to change like the background of your slides, you have more freedom to do so because there's not going to be like a white box all the way around. So you can go ahead and do that. And then we're going to move back into Google Drive. I'm going to paste my trophic pyramid in, make it nice and large, and center it. Wow, where'd it go? I always like to use these guidelines because, you know, I like to make everything perfect. So we're going to go ahead and start by inserting things into our trophic pyramid. However, we're going to start by making a copy of this particular slide. That way you have the blank slide to deal with later. So the first one we're going to do is insert image from search the web. And what this is going to do is give you, for the most part, from my experience, all of these images come up being transparent anyway for you, like kind of automatically. And they're also free for use. So you have the license to be able to use any of these for anything. And they're already transparent for you. Like I said, for the most part. Some of them aren't, but for the most part, they are. So we are going to be doing an aquatic biome. So let's go ahead and start with our primary producers. We're going to go with first seaweed or seagrass. And because I don't know who I am as a person, I like to add clip art because I think that the clip art ones are just real cute. So we're going to add a seagrass clip art. This one's pretty cute. Let's go ahead and add it. Love that for us. And you can see how it's a transparent image, which makes things a lot easier for everything. Just in my opinion, if you like the boxes around it, you do you. And we're going to start here. We're going to do three primary producers for our biome. We're going to move on to our next one. You only want to put one new organism on each of these trophic pyramids. So we're going to go ahead and go back. I'm going to put myself up here. Here, maybe? I don't know. I'll move myself around as needed. So we're going to make another copy of this particular slide. So now the seagrass is already there, and we're going to go ahead and add another organism to our primary producers. We are going to add in Phytoplankton. Do I like any of these? These guys are cute. Let's add in those Phytoplankton. You guys have no business being so large, so let's go ahead and make him smaller. So here's our Phytoplankton. We're going to go ahead again and add another organism by making another copy here. And we'll add algae for our last primary producer for our aquatic biome. I don't know which one we like. I don't know. This one, it's kind of cute. We'll just do that. For the sake of time, we're just going to go with that one. Again, nice and transparent, just like we like, and we are done with our primary producers. We can go ahead and label those. For the sake of time, I'm not going to change the font. I'm just going to kind of leave it. And that's something that we wanted to add on a second slide. So let's go back and delete that part. Okay, so now we have our biome of our primary producers. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make a copy of that latest one. We're going to do a first order consumers, and we're going to go with a blue tang. Blue tang. Always use Dory around here. Oh, that one's cute. That one's real cute. Here we go. Boom. Whoa. Oh, you're not transparent. That's okay. They're not always, but for the most part they are. We're gonna go with 2. Maybe like, I don't know, zooplankton or a queen conch. We're gonna go with a conch. Very cute. Done. All right, let's go to secondary consumers. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add a yellowtail snapper. See what we can find for that. We'll add him in. Oh no, I got ahead of myself. This is one thing that you do have to remember to do, is make sure that we're only adding one at a time. So I messed up, so I need to go back through, and here's how we fix it. We just add another slide that goes from here to here. The next one goes to here. We added too many, so I'm going to go ahead and just copy this one again. And we're going to get rid of this one. Now we go from here to here to here. And then we're going to make one more copy and do our yellowtail snapper. Okay. Perfect. And then we're going to go with a great white shark. Let's do a reef shark, actually. Everybody does blue. Does that look like a reef shark? It's fine. We're going to pretend it is. Yeah, you look cute. Pretty good. All right. Did I do it again? We're going to go back through and just make sure we have everything in order. We don't. And then that's all of them. And then we'll add some more text boxes here to this last one. We're going to add primary consumers. We're going to add secondary consumers. Wow. And then our apex predators. I haven't taught 7th grade in a while, so some of this may be a little bit. Good words, done. Get rid of that, get rid of that. this, and let's just go through one more time and make sure it's all together. So they can actually use this for more. Okay, starting here, 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 good, here, good, here, good. For the most part, it's okay. I'm going to show you the main part of this is having them take it and share, publish to the web. So what this is going to do is allow them to create their stop motion. So you want to set it to every second. That's going to change the slide every second. You want to start the slideshow as soon as the player loads, and to make it true, you're going to go ahead and restart the slideshow after. Go ahead and click publish. Yes, we do. We're going to take this, and this is just a real rough. Okay, my kids wouldn't have done just this part here, but as far as stop motion animation is concerned, you just pop it right into a browser, and then you go ahead and see how it starts. My computer again is pretty slow. And everything pops in one by one. Now what you can do to make motion happen is you can go ahead and just move it from place to place. So each slide, you'll start with a slide with it here, add a new slide and move it here, add a move it slide and move it here, add another slide and move it here. And as it plays, it looks like it's moving across the screen as well. So that's just one way to use your technology to allow kids to complete the ISTE standard knowledge constructor. If you have any other questions or concerns, you can always contact me. Again, Ashley Zepeda at Roosevelt Junior High School. I can also send some student samples. Theirs are a lot better than mine because they had more than 10 minutes to create them. But I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you learned something, even though it looks very wonky at the end. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, Ashley Cepeda. What a creative way of using Google Slides to create that stop motion type of content. Super cool. Okay, so
Hello.
up next we have Dawn Pickup, La Loma Junior High science teacher. And Dawn is here with us, so I will go ahead and hand it over to her. Hi, Dawn.
Hey there. If I could get control.
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen.
There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yay!
Yes.
Yes, I'm Dawn Pitcock. I'm a science teacher at La Loma Junior High, and I did a project with my kiddos where they had to build some towers, and what we were really doing is building some skills. I used the ITSE Standard Innovative Designer, where kids use a variety of technologies within a design process, and we use the classic engineering design process / scientific method. And we pretty much hit all of the substandards in one way or another. And they had to create eventually a spaghetti tower, but we went through a whole series of lessons for about 7 days. The idea was that they needed to use a couple of tech tools to do some research and to design their product. The most important part about this project for them was talking them through everything and explaining what was going on and relating it to real life for them, because they needed to understand that this is what really, really happens, and then applying it to what they were doing. So I challenged them at first. I just threw a challenge at them. Here you go. Here's a bunch of red Solo cups. Build me a tower. You got 5 minutes. How tall can you make it? And they jump all in on that. And then we do a little research on problem solving in the engineering design process, so they understand some of the words like ask, research, imagine, plan, create, and then test. So they knew what was coming at them in terms of the cycle and what we were going to need to do. Gave them some notes so they knew what was going on. And I prefer to do my things like Ashley. I like things pretty and organized, because that makes my brain happy. And they needed to understand that the EDP is a cycle that they can jump in anywhere. Maybe they just, they see something that they like and they wonder how they can improve it. And then they research it, they imagine what it might look like, they plan a prototype, they create the prototype, they test the prototype, and if it doesn't work, you need to go back and plan some more. Maybe you need to research some more. And so it goes back to the ITSE standards that wanted them to do all of those things. And so in our process, we used Tinkercad to help them research and design, because Tinkercad had some great videos created by other people about spaghetti towers. And in case you've never done spaghetti towers, it really doesn't matter what you use. Again, it's the process. I used spaghetti. I gave them about a yard of masking tape. I gave them a sheet of paper. And I think that's it. And and a box with all the materials in them. And I told them, I said, build it as tall as you can. And then we're going to walk away from it for 2 minutes. And when we come back in, we're going to see whose is the tallest. So we're testing not only structural stability, but height as well. So we had 2 things. So they had to do some research. They did that on Tinkercad. Then they did the design also on Tinkercad. And that was a bit of a teaching process for them. But they really, really enjoyed using the computers in that manner. And of course, we went back and we tested after we went outside for 2 minutes, after they built the spaghetti towers. We left them in the classroom for 2 minutes and we came back in and we went around to every single tower and I asked them the questions. Number 1, which one's tallest? Okay, why is it the tallest? Which ones are not still standing? Why not? How can these designs be improved? So again, it's all about the process of questioning these kids and making them think about what they're doing and then using the tech tools to enhance what's going on. It was really helpful for them to see how the engineering design process and scientific method works and is used in real life. It was reinforced throughout the school year because, of course, this is a science class. It encouraged them to think critically. The only slight drawback was needing to teach them some of the skills for Tinkercad, which, you know, it's pretty innate for them, but some of them still needed some help on some finer points. As far as my experience in EdTech Explorers, the one reason I wanted to do it was to get new ideas so I wasn't stuck doing all the same things over and over and over. And I wanted to get away from doing everything on paper. So that was a big deal for me. I loved sharing ideas, getting ideas from other people, stealing ideas. And then, of course, the book talks were absolutely fabulous, even if I forgot to read a certain chapter or read the wrong chapter, which happened. There was a ton of information. It was like, sometimes it was like drinking water through a fire hose, even though Matthew and Brandon and everyone else made things as easy as possible. I mean, all of the slide decks were done and in a Schoology folder for every month. It was just a matter of getting it done. And they were super, super, super helpful whenever we needed them every step of the way. Can't say enough about them. Super, super spectacular. Recommend the program to anybody and everybody. And that's my take on it.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you so much for all the amazing work you guys did. We thank all of you for participating in these the programs, and we think you do all the work. You know, we're just that guide by the side. But thank you all for all the wonderful work you guys did and during this this program, and the fantastic lesson here that you shared today. So let's go ahead and showcase our next teacher here, Tyler Elliott. Unfortunately, he could not be here with us today, but he is a Modesto Virtual Academy teacher, so we'll see how he implemented our ISTE standards in his lesson plans, in his lesson. So his standard is Creative Communicator. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show his video. Let me share my screen one more time because I don't think I shared my audio and I want everyone to hear. There we go.
Hi there, my name is Tyler Elliott. I'm an MVA teacher here in Modesto City Schools, and I'm currently working with 7th and 8th graders. This is my presentation for the MCS EdTech Explorers program. Let's jump right into it. So I'm not going to give you a ton of information on this stuff, but some background info here is that the program revolves around a set of standards. There are 7 of them, and they are called the ISTE standards on the right side of your screen. For my presentation today, I'm going to be focusing on the Creative Communicator standard, and on the next slide, I'll kind of tell you what it means. This standard revolves around having students communicate and express themselves online in a creative manner. They need to use different technology platforms to do that. So my goal for this presentation is to show you guys how I use this standard in a lesson with my students. And just so you know, this was done back in January of 2022. So before I tell you exactly what I did, maybe you've seen some of the EdTech program's presentations during your school staff meetings. I know in MVA, I'm usually the guy that does it. So on those presentations, they usually give you some different platforms or EdTech tools to help you utilize these standards. I stole this straight from the presentation. There were 6 different apps here. There's WeVideo, Canva, Adobe Express, Flipgrid, Sway, Google Slides, PowerPoint. Maybe you know some of these things, maybe you don't, but my goal was to use one of them in an actual lesson with my students. Spoiler alert, the one I decided to use was Canva. In case you've never used Canva before, it's kind of like PowerPoint. It basically allows the user to create posters, presentations, and what I like about it is there are a ton of pre-made templates to use for easy customization. So I went with Canva. Here's some context of my classroom. So like I said before, I work with 7th and 8th graders, and I know a lot of you don't really know how MVA operates. The crazy thing about it with junior high is that I actually only have 15 minutes a day of whole class meeting time. Yeah, that's it, 15 minutes where my whole class logs in at the same time. That's it, not much time at all, right? But aside from that, I am 100% virtual as well. Like I said before, we use Microsoft Teams. Everybody hops in. That's how we operate. I do host these meetings in the morning, specifically from 8:15 to 8:30. So yeah, there's some sleepy young teenagers in there. And my job is to hopefully get them, hey, you're awake now. Let's learn something and get you ready to actually work. And like I said before, I did this lesson at the start of semester 2 back in January. So here's a brief outline of my lesson. I will go into more detail on the following slides, but I spread this over the course of 3 days. And remember, each day is only 15 minutes for me. So yeah, it's a kind of rapid fire, I guess you could say. So on day 1, I really focused on the concept of New Year's resolutions. You know, we just came back from winter break. Maybe you watched the New Year's celebrations, maybe you participated, I don't know. We talked about what a New Year's resolution is and exactly why people make them. So what I did personally was I found a carefully selected and school appropriate list of popular New Year's resolutions here in the USA. We basically just Googled top 10 resolutions. We talked about how some resolutions are applicable to our lives, some might not be, but basically you can pick your own resolutions. You pick things that mean something to you and that help you or make your life better in some way. So day 1, 15 minutes, New Year's resolutions only. If we jump to day 2 here, this is where we jumped into Canva. Basically, I explained the goal to the students. The goal was we will be using Canva to create an academically motivational poster. So kind of like the ones around our classrooms today. I don't have too many for MVA these days, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You got posters up in your room like do your best, get your work done, stuff like that. We're going to make one of these that ties into New Year's resolutions and helps us do better in school. So basically on day 2, we explained the goal, we hopped into Canva, explained the process, and I had to show them how to pick the right template. Like I said before, Canva is awesome for the pre-made templates. You can see a whole bunch right here. These are actually examples of classroom announcement templates. So we all had to start with one of these, and you can see behind my head there's a whole bunch more. One of them is blown up on the right side here. But we were going to take a template, use it, and customize it to make our own. So yeah, day 2 was pretty much, hey, let's start making stuff in Canva. What can we use to inspire us? How does this tie into New Year's resolutions? What will help us out in school here? And finally, on the 3rd and final day of this was my favorite day. This was the sharing day, where we got to share out some of our beautiful creations and masterpieces. I have 2 on the sides of my head right here. I really liked how simple some of them were. Like on the left, do your work. And you can see a bunch of fun little pictures around it. Yeah, that'll help you in school. Do your work. And on the right side here, this is something I talk about with all my students daily. If you have missing assignments, it makes me sad. And there's a crying emoji there as well. So these are 2 of the ones students made. Let me show you another on the next slide. Here's another one here, a bit more detail. Class reminders, do your work, email me if you need help, helpful stuff. But what I really wanted to highlight here is on the right side. There is a button on Canva in the left menu. It's called Elements. And inside the Elements menu, there is an element called Stickers. And it's just like it sounds. It's a whole bunch of crazy, fun emojis, pictures. Some of them even move like GIFs. It's really cool to see. And as you probably guessed, 7th and 8th graders have a field day with this. So yeah, like on the poster behind me, you can see there's quite a few different stickers thrown on there. But yeah, this really got the kids engaged. They had a fun time finding the stickers, playing with them. Sometimes one student would find one and then everybody else would ask where they got it. They had to give them the search term or scroll to it. So yeah, the stickers made this a whole lot of fun. And like I said before, that was kind of the end of the lesson there. We ended with the sharing. Just thinking about most of you guys, though, I'm assuming most of you watching this probably aren't MBA teachers, but there are opportunities to expand this lesson as well. I was thinking if I was back in the classroom, I would drag this lesson out. I would expand it so much. I would turn this into an actual, like, let's print out your posters. Let's put them around the room. Let's have you present. Let's have you do a gallery walk and see what you like about other people's. Let's leave comments, things like that. I think you could really use my lesson as kind of a foundation for a longer, more in-depth lesson that you might come up with. So yeah, I think it's usable wherever you are. And I did have a reflection question from the EdTech Explorers department here. The question was, how does this lesson allow students to communicate clearly and express themselves creatively? Well, a few things about that. I mean, you guys saw, I gave students the freedom to choose what kind of advice they're going to put on their classroom announcement. They came up with all kinds of fun things. The only conditions were that it had to be positive and have some sort of relevance to school and academics, kind of like we talked about with New Year's resolutions beforehand. With Canva, especially the classroom announcements template that I showed you, it's just one single frame. So I felt like that single frame really forced them to be direct and straight to the point, but at the same time, they could have a lot of fun customizing nearly every aspect of it. Background images, fonts, words, crazy stickers, things like that. And finally here, just to kind of wrap things up, what have I gained from my experience in the MCS EdTech Explorers program? I'll be honest with you guys. When I first applied for it, I was brand new with MVA after being in the classroom, and I was like, is this really going to be applicable to me? I know things are different. I don't have kids in the room anymore, but honestly, it was still really fun. I really enjoyed my time in this program, and specifically, you know, I'm a sucker for using different types of apps online and different ed tech programs. This program introduced a lot of them to me. Like, I thought I knew most of them, but there were some I didn't, like Canva. That was new for me this year. So new programs here, and specifically, you know, my kids are sitting at home. They're logging into the computer. They see me through the computer screen, just like you see me now. I wanted more ways to engage them and let them have fun with each other. And a lot of these ed tech programs, like shout out to Canva again, it's just straight up fun. We're putting stickers, we're sharing with each other. I really enjoyed the amount of engagement I got out of a lot of these programs. So yeah, even kids at home, they're having fun just like the rest of us. And I guess that's it for me here. So I've got my information up on the screen. There's my name, Tyler Elliott. There's my email if you want to reach out for something. And yeah, I'm over in MVA. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. I've had a great time in the EdTech Explorers program, and hopefully you will sign up for it next year. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.
How fantastic was that lesson in the MVA class? Definitely love Canva. If you've never used Canva, I really urge you to check it out. Now in the summer, there's a lot of opportunity for you to just go in there and play and explore with new tools. I find myself using Canva all the time for all the graphics that I use in Schoology or for my thumbnails for the YouTube videos. It's just like a really fun tool to use because there's so many templates there that you can use. So you don't start from scratch. So great tool for Creative Communicator standard. Thank you so much. And now we have our last presenter, Diana Whitney, who again couldn't be here with us, but we have a recording of her presenting her lesson using the Knowledge Constructor ISTE standard. So let's go ahead and watch her video. We're running out of time here, so let's go ahead and push play.
So my focus standard was 1.3 Knowledge Constructor, and the standard is where students critically curate a variety of resources using digital tools to construct knowledge, produce creative artifacts, and make meaningful learning experiences for themselves and others. Now, out of their 4 different strands in this standard, students plan and employ effective research strategies to locate information and other resources for their intellectual or creative pursuits. B, students evaluate the accuracy, perspective, credibility, and relevance of information, media, data, or other resources. C, students curate information from digital resources using a variety of tools and methods to create collections of artifacts that demonstrate meaningful connections or conclusions. And D, students build knowledge by actively exploring real-world issues and problems, developing ideas and theories, and pursuing answers and solutions. And my lesson that I focused on within this standard was the 3rd one, where students curate information from digital resources using a variety of tools and methods to create collections of artifacts to have meaningful connections and conclusions. And I did this in a contained situation with my students. They haven't worked much with many digital tools, but I asked them to create a slide deck using Google Slides, and they were given a set of directions where within a group of 4, each group had 2 vocabulary words from our text, and each group member had 1 role that they would use for each of their vocabulary words. So for 1 word, they would do 1 role, and then for the 2nd word, they would do a 2nd role. So one group member would find and insert a video to illustrate their vocabulary word. A second member would find a image or draw using the draw tools to illustrate the term. A third member would use the dictionary tools available to them and then create the definition in their own word. Another member would create a Wordle of all of the words, and this was a set of 20, using a link to Wordle, a web cloud website, so they could create that Wordle, and then they would send their 2 slides, one for each of their words, to me to put together within a class slide deck. And I felt that that was a easy, attainable goal for the students to show their curated information around these vocabulary words using tools that they should be familiar with. We've worked with many of those within our class. And the students really, surprisingly to me, they had some struggle going through the process and understanding what they were doing. And regardless of my instructions being specifically laid out, I provided them with video links and other resources to help them through this process. Many of them were very uncomfortable to take ownership of this process and follow through with it. So I think moving forward, I'd like to use the same process again and include it in more of our background for the text that we are encountering. And that's one thing that the EdTech Explorers program has really kind of encouraged me to do as a teacher, is to take those risks and see how can I apply these strategies and these ideas, and just this kind of more of a hands-on approach to language arts, where the students are going through the process of trial and error and being their own advocates and taking ownership of their learning and using the technology that's available to them so that they can provide much more depth to what we are doing in class, where it's not just reading the text and writing an answer. It's okay, we do our reading the text, we do our writing the answer, we go and we explore different aspects of that text or that history period, that opportunity to just see what is out there and how can we change our thoughts to be much bigger than our own classroom. So it's kind of did build for me many different resources and ways of bringing in what I've worked with in the past and seeing for the upcoming school year where a starting point needs to happen in order to increase the students' abilities, and just having that mindset of going into it that, okay, you're not sure how to do this, let's figure out how to do it, and really kind of have a more project-based or hands-on aspect to language arts that I haven't built into my curriculum in the past. So that's kind of where I started as an EdTech Explorer, and that's kind of came full circle for me to feel that, yeah, now I can take the next step and move into that and work with a lot of the pieces that I attempted this year, like this vocabulary slide deck, and improve upon that, and hopefully have students who are more confident at risk-taking if I'm starting and encouraging them and showing them that it's okay to take risks from the beginning of the school year as we move forward into more ways that the ISTE standards can be used within the classroom, and for me, the ELA classroom.
All right, so that was Diana Whitney, and she puts it really nicely when she shares about what the ISTE standards did in her classroom is precisely putting the students in the driver's seat of their learning, having them take ownership. So you don't necessarily need to be a super techie person to participate in this program. Some of the teachers that you've heard from mentioned that, you know, they just wanted to kind of see what was out there, see how they could incorporate technology, and the MCS Explorers help them do that. So if you weren't sure in the beginning of the session if you wanted to participate in the Explorers program for next school year, I hope that you're now more convinced of it and are just applying to see if you are going to be part of the program next school year. So here we have the bit.ly link, the QR code for you to go ahead and apply. We really believe that teachers in all tech levels will highly benefit of, you know, participating in the tech program, the Explorers program, to help them guide their classroom and incorporating technology and having students take accountability for their learning and ownership. So very, very powerful to in your class. Okay, so now that we are very close to the end, I want to thank you all for joining our session here today. I hope you were inspired and learned from our teachers. I want to thank the teachers that participated in the MCS EdTech Explorers this year, 7, 8, and MVA teachers. Specifically, thank you so much. And for today's session, I do need you guys to complete a form so we can mark your attendance for today's session. So I will go ahead and share a link in as an announcement. So you should go ahead and access this in our in the Q&A. Let me go ahead and add that here, attendance link. There it is. So go ahead and take the minute that we have left here in today's session to click on that and complete that form so we can go ahead and mark your attendance here for today. So again, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, I hope you join us on Thursday for our showcase for the 9-12 teachers. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye.